Welcome to the why and the how to clean install Windows 10, the October 2018 version. There can be nothing worse than sitting at home with your computer when suddenly something goes wrong. For some reason it won't work properly, it won't recognize the hard drive, or the keys stop working. Any number of general glitches can become a headache. The last thing you want to do is to go down to the shop and entrust your computer to people you don't know who are neither rocket scientists nor priests and give them your hard-earned cash to hold on to your computer for a week or two. Particularly in this day and age when people can steal your personal data from your computer or add spyware to your computer. Not long ago I was reading in a PC magazine how a team at the magazine purposefully moved the RAM a little bit, which made the computer not work, and then gave it to a number of computer shops in order to see how many of the shops were honest. To their amazement, only 1 out of 10 shops realized what was wrong and fixed it for them free of charge. Places like PC World tried to charge them for a new motherboard. And then, when returning the computer, there was actually no new motherboard there, but still they charged them a lot of money for the replacement. The magazine put their own spyware on the computer so they could see what the technicians were doing with their computer, and a few of the technicians were actually trying to steal their bank details and looking for pictures of their girlfriends in private folders. Anyway, I digress. It could be that you need access to those files right away, and not in 2 weeks' time. How nice would it be if you could fix it yourself within an hour or two, especially if it's a weekend and all the shops are closed? These are some of the reasons you will be grateful for getting into the habit of knowing how to do a clean install of Windows 10. I'd just like to list out 7 quick points as to why knowing how to do this will give you peace of mind. 1. If you've had your PC for a while, then doing a clean install will rid it of any viruses it may have. 2. It will help speed up your computer if it's been running too slow, especially if the startup is slow, as can be the case if you have had the device for 3 or more years. 3. It will force you to back up all your data onto an external hard drive so you don't lose your files in future. 4. If you have bought your computer brand new or second-hand from a friend or a shop, you can never really trust that it has not had spyware installed on it. Even the PC company itself may have installed spyware, something which Lenovo was sanctioned for doing on their laptop PCs a few years back. 5. Also, every 6 months, Windows 10 releases a new build update. And while it will update itself eventually, you can speed up the process by downloading the ISO file and installing it yourself. 6. Allowing it to update itself may also cause glitches and problems, as you may also need to update the drivers from your PC's website. 7. In future, you will rely less on going to the store to get your PC fixed, as knowing how to do a clean install will fix 80% of the problems you may face. What I love about doing regular clean installs once or twice a year is that it forces me to back up my files. Does anybody remember that WannaCry virus? Yeah, me too. And both my friend and I fell victim to this crime. However, as I had recently reinstalled everything a few months earlier, I knew that I had backed up everything on the hard drive, and most of the new files were connected to my OneDrive or were on my phone. My friend, on the other hand, hadn't backed up for a few years and lost a lot of their university essay files in the process. Even now, one of the reasons I'm doing this video is that I'm having to do a clean install because my USB port isn't recognizing different pen drives when plugged in, unless I restart the computer with the device plugged in. So that's the why. Now let's move on to the how. Now let's take a look at our itinerary. Here is a list of the things we're going to do. At the top, we're going to find our Windows 10 license key, just in case anything goes wrong with the automatic update. And because Microsoft, you can see here at the bottom, Microsoft will activate it automatically. But in case it goes wrong, we'll make sure you have the key first. First, we're going to back up all our files on an external hard drive or pen drive. We're going to save your bookmarks from your Chrome and Firefox and identify the version of Windows, because we need to know whether to install Home or Pro. Second, we're going to download the necessary drivers for your PC and save them on a hard drive. Also, we're going to download the new Windows ISO file, and we'll check whether or not your hard drive is MBR or GPT. This one is the older version, this one is the newer version of laptops. Number 4, we're going to download Rufus. This is how we're going to install the ISO on your USB. Then we're going to install it. Number 6, we're going to restart the computer using one of these keys in order to get into the BIOS. You can have a look at your manual or just randomly press keys until you get there. And finally, we're going to install Windows 10 without needing the internet, as it's a lot faster. And then we can plug in the internet later, and that should activate our Windows automatically. Then we'll install the drivers and we're finished. So let's begin. We're going to find our Windows 10 license key. Now, I'm going to put a link down below to this, but for now, I'm just going to right click and copy this. And what we need to do is click on the Cortana icon and type in CMD, and then right click Command Prompt and run as administrator. Now press Ctrl and V, which will paste that text which you will find below, and press enter. And there you can see my product key is this, and you just simply highlight it like that, press Ctrl C to copy, and then I'll put it on the text bar here. Use this text tool, Ctrl V, and there's my product key, should I need it. So now we're going to do the first thing and back up all my files on an external hard drive. That's simple to do. You just plug in your hard drive. Here you can see I have a new volume hard drive, and I'm just going to drag all of my files from pictures and downloads into the hard drive here, and you can do that yourself. Next, some of you may not know how to copy your bookmarks from Chrome or Firefox, so I'm going to show you how to do that quickly. Here is Firefox first of all, and what you need to do is make sure you have this top list here. In Firefox you can simply right click anywhere on the bar, and you can see you have the main menu bar. Some of you may not have it, so you need to right click and click on the main menu bar, go to bookmarks, show all bookmarks, and then backup. So I'm going to back up my bookmarks on the desktop, and it will save it as a .json file. And obviously you do the same when you import the bookmarks back into Firefox. You simply restore and you click on one of the restore items, or you go find it, choose a file. You'd go here and choose a file and look for it. So we go here and you can see it's on my desktop, and I would activate that. Next, let's see how to collect your bookmarks from Chrome. You simply go to the three dots here and click on Bookmarks and Bookmarks Manager. These are my bookmarks. The next thing you do is click on the three icons here, or the three dots, and simply export bookmarks. And this will export it as a HTML file. Also, I want that on the desktop. And the same goes for this. When you want to reinstall the bookmarks, you simply go to the Bookmarks Manager, which is here, and then click on Import Bookmarks, and you can see there they are. And because it's a HTML file, I know it's the Google Chrome one, whereas the Firefox is a JSON file. So here you can see that's the bookmarks for the Firefox, and that's the bookmarks for Google Chrome. So let's just simply tick the things we've done. We've found our key, we've backed up our files, we have copied the bookmarks for Chrome and Firefox. Next, we need to identify the Windows 10 version so we know whether to install Home or Pro. And the easiest way to do this is to type here in the search bar, this PC. And before I even finish the word this PC, you can see it's come here, and we simply right click again, and this time go to Properties, or you could click Properties here. And you can see I have Windows 10 Pro and 12 gigs of RAM, and it's 64-bit operating system. So I'm going to download the ISO for 64-bit and install the Windows Pro. So we can click off this, and we know our version. Next, download the necessary drivers for your PC and put them on your hard drive. Now you may need to also download 7-zip in order to unzip them, because some of them are in zip files. So the way to do it is to just have a search for anything regarding your computer. So mine is Asus. So I'll simply type in Asus. I think my computer is TP500, TP500. And I'll just put drivers. And make sure you go to the website of your computer, if it's HP or if it's Asus. And it's usually in the support column, but here you can see it's already told me the name of my computer and the driver tools I need. So I just need to choose which one mine is, and that's mine. And I select Windows 10. Now, one thing you need to pay attention to is if your computer is quite old, many of your drivers might be under the Windows 8. As you can see here, it looks like I've only got the BIOS driver, the touchpad, and these two drivers, utilities, which I never install. And what I need to do is go to the Windows 8. Now you'll notice I've got my VGA driver, my BIOS, my audio, my LAN, my card reader, touchpad, others, utilities, wireless, chipset, ATK, Bluetooth, and I can see all the downloads, more of them. Okay, so what you'll need to do is download each one of them. If you want to see all downloads, all it means is it will show you an older version. As you can see, this is an older version, so I would really want to download this version. Now, you can see it says 2014, it's 2018 now, so I have already downloaded these years ago, so I don't need to do it again. That's what's good about doing reinstall, is often once you've downloaded the drivers, you only need those drivers. And you can see I've got two folders, my drivers and the Windows Update driver. As remember, this is for Windows 8, but it includes 10. And these are the major updates for Windows 10, touchpad and utilities, that's all. So I've downloaded them and put them into a separate folder. So you go to your website, if that's HP or Acer or Dell, and you can find your drivers quite easily. Now there seems to be a lot of drivers, but there's only a few that are really important. The order in which I do them is this. I'll just go to my documents. Now, the order of installing your drivers, here you may not need all of these, but my computer is quite technical, so the most important ones you need to begin with are just the chipset driver, the video or the VGA driver. So here's my chipset Intel driver. Then I've got my ME Intel driver. If you have an AMD computer, you might need to install that, or if you have the NVIDIA card, anything connected with graphics. So the chipset and this driver here. And you'll notice also my chipset driver, all the drivers came in a zip file, so I simply put them in a folder of their own and extract using the 7-zip. Here you can extract here. So it may take time, but once you've collected them, they're there for life probably. So you install the chipset, then the ME Intel driver and the VGA, which is this, the video adapter, VGA. Then network card, audio adapters, the rest are not as important. Wireless, Windows 10 will automatically work that out for you, but you can install the wireless LAN for your particular one. If you find you have two like this, just install one. Only one will work. You try to install it and say, sorry, you don't have this software. Well, then it must be this one. So don't panic over that. The same with Bluetooth. You might have two Bluetooth options. I think I just have one. And also the card reader is important. Now, once you've installed your drivers, then you can install any other drivers and reboot your PC after installing each driver. So when it says restart again, restart again. Don't try to install all the drivers at once without restarting, because some of them rely on the chipset driver to attach themselves to it. Okay, so we have downloaded the drivers, we've got them in a folder, and we've put them onto a hard drive. So let's download the necessary drivers. If you need 7-zip, you can actually download it for free from this website here, 7zip.org. Just download it, and then you can right-click any of the files and unzip them. So the card reader file also came zipped. You just simply right-click and say extract here, and then it will extract all the stuff here. Remember, you might need to make folders for each of them. I just simply copy and pasted the info and then made a new folder. Okay, so that's done. Next, we're going to download the new Windows 10 ISO file. But first, we need to check for later when we are installing it on the USB. We need to know whether we have an MBR or a GPT hard drive. And the simple way to do this is simply in the search bar type in manager, but you probably only need to type in the word man, and then you'll end up with computer management. Right click, run as admin, and here go down to disk management. Now here is my hard drive, and here's the external hard drive. Here's my hard drive. If I right click in this space here, anywhere in here, not here, that's no good. So right click here, you can see it says convert to MBR. So that means this must be GPT. If you're not sure, go to the properties, go to volumes, and you can see it says GPT. So this is important information for when you're installing on the ISO on Rufus. It will ask you, do you want MBR or GPT? MBR generally for old computers. GPT computers made in the last 3 or 4 years. And this is why we're going to download the ISO itself. And that way, if we want to make a new USB, put it on a friend's computer, his might be MBR, not GPT, and that's why it won't load. So this is very important for you to know. So I know mine is GPT, that's my one. Tick that. And now we're going to download Rufus software. Oh, actually, we need to download the Windows 10, so let's do that. Here's the Windows 10. Windows 10 October update now. We simply need to not update. Remember, we don't want to update this computer because it already has it on it. I want to do a fresh install. So I'm going to download the installation media tool. And if I go to my downloads, I'll see it here, and I'll simply just double click. And now I'm going to run that file. Once it's finished its job, we simply accept the rights. Now, we don't want to upgrade this PC now. We want to create the installation media as an ISO file. So, for another PC or for this PC. But for us to do the clean install. So we'll click Next. Our language is English. Our edition is Windows 10. And it says use recommended options. What happens if I unclick this? I can decide to download the 32-bit. Or I can, well, that's it. I can decide to download another language. If you wish, you can download any other language you wish. Obviously, English United Kingdom is what I want. It says use recommended settings. I'll just untick that and still use those settings. So I'll click Next. Again, it wants to do the job for me, but that will take a long time, it trying to make a flash drive for me. And I imagine it would make a GPT one, knowing my system. But like I say, you may want to put MBR on the flash drive if it's a friend's old computer. So what we're going to do is download the ISO file. That way we have more control over installing it on a variety of pen drives. Click Next, and you can see here, if I go to Downloads, I can simply click Save, and it will do the process. Okay, so finally the ISO has been made. You can see here it is, 3.78 gig. We finish. And now we have our Windows ISO file. Now, let's tick that off. Download Windows ISO file. Yes, we've done that. Now we're going to download Rufus. And Rufus can be downloaded from this page here, rufus.ie. And I'm going to explain to you how to install it on the USB. So, simply go to this page and click download on this one. So we can download the newest one. And there it is. Now, I have my 8 GB pen drive here in the E drive. So make sure you remember the letter. I'm going to right click the rufus, run as admin. Now, here's my 8GB drive. The disk or ISO image I need to select, and it's in my downloads folder. Click on that, open, and my computer, my laptop is quite new, so it is GPT and UEFI. If you have the older computer, you need to make a new USB pen drive for this one and change it to MBR and make sure it's NTFS. I'm going GPT, which also needs to be NTFS. The only time you ever use the FAT is if you're installing on a Microsoft Surface tablet, and probably most tablets would need this, but laptops need NTFS. So I'm ready to go, and I'll click start. All data will be removed, that's fine. So I'm just going to pause while it does its job. Now, the USB has finished loading Windows 10, and you get an important notice about Secure Boot. This has never happened before, so they remind you that when you are going to install, you do need to disable Secure Boot in your BIOS, but we'll do that together. So I'm going to close this. It's ready to be installed. Close this, and now you can see the Windows is set up on my USB stick. So let's go to our folder, and we can tick that we have downloaded Rufus and installed the ISO ready to boot. Now we're going to have to restart the computer, and therefore I'm going to save this recorded file and call it part 1. And what you'll need to do is go to part 2 of this video, where I won't be recording on the PC but from my iPhone, and I will show you how we get into the BIOS and install Windows, and that's the simple process. So remember to go to part 2.